Triplefour.
Let's talk about it. Okay, Triplefour podcast.
Yeah, he said
This dude makes a meatwad fucking thing for no reason, and then he says Jim Norrison.
Bob Dylan I find personally obnoxious, but the Beatles destroyed culture.
Oh my god.
I got Elon Musk to smoke weed in my Tesla the other day. That's not even a big fucking deal.
Things are crazy right now. You don't know shit, do you? We really didn't.
You know, you can't always get what you want, but you'll find sometimes that if you try,
You just might get it.
Oh, you get it!
Sup, foreheads. Welcome to the Triplefour podcast. This is episode 56, I think. And yeah, here we are. First things first, you already know the Triplefour store. That's a thing still. And your money could go anywhere at this point, but why not me? The fact of the matter is everything's priced to production prices, so I'm not even really making profit on it. We just want you to rep, to enjoy. Get yourself a Bug Society t-shirt. Get yourself a poster from any of your favorite Triplefour films. We got Cyborg, Dude with an Uzi, Darkness on the Edge of Town, whatever you're into, you know. Also, the Dower Hour. It's my radio show. That's also available. So if you missed the sound of my voice and you also like early 80s goth music, then I've got something for you. So check that out in the Linktree link in bio. Darkness on the Edge of Town, still on Amazon Prime, YouTube, wherever you want to get it. Today, very special guest, my good friend Stephen Elberg is with us today.
Hello.
You may recognize the foreheads out there. You may recognize him from some of my college films, Brace for Impact, The Beta Show. He did play, from what I understand, the most well-known Jordan Peterson performance.
Yeah. Until what was that thing? There's like a bot that's replicating people's voices. And his voice was one of like the first voices, and they did one where he's like he goes on like a rant about Burger King, like it was after we did our thing, and it was like think about the Burger King. He's like the fatherly figure of the fast food restaurants, or like something like that.
This is fucked. I need to get the lawyers on the phone.
Yeah.
Taco Bell. What I do know is that Taco Bell doesn't typically serve fries. And I thought that was fascinating. That was a bold choice for them to make. We found that people who ordered the $1 nacho fries and the Baja Blast were way higher, one standard deviation higher on openness and agreeableness.
Okay, so Burger King, that name is so bloody complicated. It took me like 3 months of non-stop thought to figure this out. Well, you look at it and you can say pretty confidently, king, that's actually an instantiation of a patriarchal mode of being, isn't it? It's like that's the typification of a fatherly figure that exists at the top of all possible dominance hierarchies.
I don't know if you've kept up with the other running bit about how Robert Eggers, the director of The Lighthouse, stole the Lighthouse plot and concepts from The Space, Jacob and I's feature film. It's like a carbon copy of our movie.
Like when yours obviously came out first, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I can't believe it.
You do like a side by side like breakdown viewing of the two.
I actually should do that.
You can see this right here. This is mine.
He's got a new movie coming out this year maybe, and like Bjork is in it, I think. So that's cool. But if I see one tiny similarity to anything I've ever made, I'm like, this is an hour's worth of material.
Can you imagine you like go through your subscriber list and like you like narrow down the IP address, you find it like one of them is him. He's like,
That's a good way to just approach your artistic career. You just have to find somebody who's doing enough things, who's really niche, and just steal all of their stuff. It's like Big Fat
Exactly.
Liar with Paul Giamatti.
Oh my god, I used to watch that movie as a kid, like over and over again. I had that on VHS, whatever it was.
Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, Giamatti. Best picture material.
Oh yes, easily.
So you were in Florida, right?
Yes, sir. And where are you right now? Because
I'm in
when I checked in last.
Yeah, I'm in snowy Chicago.
Gotcha.
It's snowing right now, even though I checked all the weather apps and no one's acknowledging it. I think there's some kind of deep state kind of snow Illuminati stuff.
Yeah, they don't want people to know.
Yeah.
It's a no snow, no basis. No snow, no snow. If you don't know about the snow, you don't know. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. I think that should be tagged somewhere in this so that we can be included in the like anti-snow flat snowers algorithm on YouTube.
Yeah, snow isn't actually cold. The government just wants you to think it actually is.
Yeah.
Trying to control the movements of people, you know?
And the sun is blue, which we did discover.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the number one thing? What's the number one evidence?
The sky is blue. Duh.
It's just how we perceive light.
Yeah, because it's like if the sun were orange, then why isn't the sky orange?
This is true.
So, Mrs. Mosher, freshman year, high school science, get that shit figured out. Anyway, what part of Florida?
So I'm in South Florida, like Miami-ish area, close to Fort Lauderdale too.
Okay.
It's like Florida's like separated into like a few different factions. It's like where I am, it's a lot of people from like South America, Venezuela, Colombia, Cuba, Ecuador, like just like a whole like it's almost like a new melting pot area. And then like the further north you go, it gets like kind of more rednecky-ish kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're far north, it's for sure that.
Florida Georgia line type stuff.
And everywhere in between, there's like alligators and iguanas and flamingos, and it's just a strange place. That's why there's always news stories about Florida man doing crazy things.
See, I had heard that the Florida man phenomenon was because Florida just has a way more like extensive police filing system or something. So, or like
that's probably part of it too.
Or like that the press has access to all these police files. So it's like really easy. Like they're like slow news day. Let's see what the Florida men have been up to.
That's so true. I didn't even know that was a thing. But that makes a lot of sense.
I could be wrong. That sounds familiar. That sounds like something I read on Reddit or something.
Yeah, Florida, because I'm pretty sure there's no income tax here. And then like if you're doing like acting stuff, if you're in like LA or New York, you typically can only have like a single agent pretty much. Mm-hmm. But then down here, it's like you can have like 3 or 4. Like there's no like limit to. There's no like you don't have to sign exclusivity with people. Because Florida, I don't know.
Because the Florida acting laws of 1896.
Yes. Who could forget?
Is that what you have? Do you have multiple agents?
Yeah, I do. I got like one person for, kind of extras and music videos and stuff like that. And one person's more focused on commercial work. And then another person is, they both are, but they're more focused on like films and television and anything that's like SAG related. Because a lot of, not always, because there's something that I self-submitted for that was SAG, and they let me audition for it, and but usually they like to see that it's like submitted by like a SAG agent or something. But at the end of the day, it's always a toss-up. You never know. There's no guarantee with how anyone does every process is different. So
yeah. So has there been some stream of work for you? I know this past year probably.
Yeah, so it was so crazy because I get out of college and like everyone's like a lot of like other actor friends are either going straight to LA or straight to New York, and I'm just like I don't know about that yet because I have family in both areas, but I want to get like a demo reel and stuff like that before I like really go out there. and Florida is not too far from Atlanta,
Mhm.
and sometimes and I feel like Florida could be a good place to film if they like give the tax incentive. I don't know if they've done that yet. I haven't really looked into it. But I was starting to get the ball rolling. Like I was taking workshop classes with the casting director, like getting auditions and stuff. I was like getting like a snowball to like push down a hill, right?
Mhm.
And then it's like, all right, it's like almost done, and then boom, COVID like melted all the snow in a way. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is fine though. But I feel worse for the people that got cast, because there are people that like got their ball made out of snow and like already pushed it down the hill somewhat, and it was like starting to roll, and then boom, all the snow melts, and now they got to climb back up the hill, if that makes any sense, because they're no longer like technically a fresh face for like whatever they're
Yeah.
going into. So it's like, damn, this sucks a lot, but I guess it's like it can make it work, you know.
Mhm.
Because it's kind of like forced me to like look into doing like other things, like focusing more on music or like learning how to make videos and edit and stuff like that. So you've always got to like, what was
Adapt.
it? Adapt, yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, so then what's been coming of videos and music and stuff? Have you?
So I started like looking into how YouTube works, because it's because I did Twitch streaming and stuff in college for like just kind of like play around. I like the idea of it, but it was more like experimental. Like, can you link a web series to a stream and like have them sort of like coexist and like sort of feed each other
Yeah.
in a way? Because that's what a lot of them do. They kind of, a lot of like, there's like Ludwig and some other people on Twitch that are like it's like reality TV but for YouTubers.
Mhm.
And they use like very catchy thumbnails and titles that like grab people's like emotions in a way. And so it's just like, can like, is there a way to like parody these people? Like, cause like everyone knows someone who like genuinely wants to be like, yeah, so I'm streaming on Twitch for like a few people, like come check, like you'll see it on forums all the time.
Yeah.
But and there's a thing I wanted to do with that, but the COVID didn't let it happen. Is that like they're not making any profit, and so they go to like a nonprofit like run to like raise money, and they like try and like make money there, because like, well, we're not making any profit. We're a nonprofit organization. And they have to like run, and they went to it in suits, and it was the whole thing. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, maybe there's a way to adapt this story for podcasters, because I've noticed how there's a lot of anti-podcaster sentiment floating around.
Wait, really? Like,
well, I'm just saying, like, you know, the bit is where it's like all podcaster dudes look the same and they look like me, and
I haven't seen it. But there's always, you know what I've noticed? There's always going to be like a Wojak for every person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen? There's like a yin yang thing of like the Wojak memes is like the cringe guy and then like the Chad guy.
Yeah.
Like they all go into each other. But it's just like whatever, man.
I think it's more just about like I don't know. I guess the proliferation of podcasts and shows and stuff, especially during the quarantine era when everybody is at home and they can all do this stuff, which is funny because it's like this joke started like gaining all this traction because of that, I think. But I've been doing this since senior year of college, 2018.
One of the pioneers.
The pioneers. Yeah, it's me.
They used to ride these babies.
Rogan.
Yeah.
The This American Life, Triplefour podcast. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not like, I try not to take too much offense to it because it's not like, it's not, I don't know. It's not directly offensive, I guess. But
I think I like the shit that you do because you like consistently like because what I feel like this is kind of connected to this. I feel like we're in the digital renaissance in a way.
Yeah,
if this makes it, because like this is like the most, like so many different art forms are so unbelievably accessible now just because of like internet technology, all this stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like like you consistently execute on like the music, the podcast, the Triplefour YouTube, the films, the independent films and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like I haven't. I feel like I don't execute as much. I feel like the way you execute is like kind of rare. Like for someone to be like this, like you seem so productive. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel this way? Like,
I think I do and I don't. I feel like realistically, and maybe this will sound egotistical, but I really just I live and breathe for it. Like I feel like I have to, or else I'm dead. I'm dying. I'm a shark. Like I have to keep moving. And what's weird is that there's a lot of people doing stuff, and they try to promote it, and they like, I don't know, they try to make everything a masterpiece, and they try to make everything a big social media PR push or whatever. And I feel like I just don't do that, because for me it's more about the act of creating. And I don't know, when I look back on it, I mean, just numbers wise, I think there's definitely the sort of definitive productivity, because I mean, just looking at 2020, it's like I finished Darkness on the Edge of Town, I made 2 short films, we did 30 plus podcasts, I put out 4 albums of music, and whatever. I mean, does it mean anything to anybody other than me? Maybe not. I mean,
you're developing a body of work though, and it's like you're sharpening all these like different blades you got going on.
Yeah,
I think it's good. I think it's good shit. It doesn't matter about like, I don't know, like what. It's just the fact that you're like, it's getting executed.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate
that.
What's
the secret? How are you so productive? What do you like?
I don't have a job. I chose the art life, I guess.
Let's go. That's good though.
Chose to not. I don't know. It's a big stressor for me, actually, the fact that I don't have as much financial stability. You know, I think there's like this, because I know people who are going into very concrete career jobs. They know they're going to get paid all the time, but I know that like I know these people who are like that, but then they also have artistic ambitions. But the thing is, like, by doing all of that career stuff and working 9 to 5, it's like they get so drained that they don't really, like, even if they did take that, you know, nights and weekends time to make things, they're so like drained, and
they're kind of like sapped of, because like a big part, like when people are most creative, I feel, is when they feel like genuinely positive. Like if I ever go through like a rut of like sadness and stuff like that, it's just you can't make. It's like it's hard to, because like you have to take. I mean, obviously you can, like, there's some substance to extract from there, but it can't go anywhere if you're like down here. Like you gotta, like, you know what I mean? It's like trying to reach the rope, but you can't reach it, you know?
Yeah, I think you have to experience the catharsis to have anything to say. Yeah, but I think on the other hand, it's like, you know, you can have the financial stability to have hobbies that might develop into, you know, whatever, being fulfilling. Whereas I'm on the other side of it, where it's like I have like prioritized my artistic ambitions or hobbies or whatever, and therefore suffer the financial instability.
Right.
And I've tried to combine them. You know, it's hard. Like, I try to get freelance video work, and I try to do those things, but it's very, very difficult. I mean, this past year is in particular.
Because so like the past 6 weeks, castings have not been happening, like at least around me, unless there are like projects that are already going on, until like the new year started. And then they're like, okay, productions aren't really going on right now, but like we'll send out some sides and do some castings and like put the pieces in order to play chess, whatever. It's weird for me because I feel like I'm like kind of in a similar position, but not exactly the same, because like there was a time where I was cleaning air ducts and auditioning, and like I was like taking like any like horrendous job you can think of. To do it, which I still kind of do, like here and there, and some production stuff on the side. But you make the most of it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of fighting with myself, because I know that come like spring, there's going to have to be like, I'm just going to have to take a shitty job because I've worked in restaurants for a long time, and that's how I kind of built up all my savings that are sustaining me now.
Yeah.
But I hate it deeply. So I'm like, anything to not work at a restaurant or at this point, Amazon or a grocery store are the only other two things.
Yeah.
So it may have to happen, but whatever.
Do you have like a schedule? Do you have like a regimen of like blocked out times? Like, oh, this is the music time, this is the videos, this is this, or is it just like as it whatever comes to mind first?
Yeah, it's kind of, I actually go through phases of interests, I guess, because like right now I'm not really working on much film stuff because I mean, I guess I'm in school. I'm in graduate school now, getting a MFA for directing at DePaul.
Nice.
So like, my film energies are kind of going towards like school and structured assignments and things. So it's kind of hard to like outside of school be like, yeah, I'm going to write film, because just all that energy is going towards school. Whereas like music got really exciting again for me at the end of last year, a few weeks ago, a month ago, because I met some other musicians that I've been collaborating with and kind of pursuing like the next stage of being a musician, which for me is playing with a band, because I've always, like, the Enron Hubbard stuff is all my bedroom, it's just me doing it by myself. So music, that just happened to be the thing that opened up. And so now I'm kind of pursuing that. And then, doing these podcasts, when I get the like inspiration, I'm like, oh, it'd be great is Stephen. We should get Stephen on and do that.
Oh, stop. Yeah, music is very like, it's like a therapeutic kind of, it's like a challenge. It's like the challenge of like fighting games. Like, like for some things on guitars, it's like, oh, you gotta like like math rocky stuff to me kind of feels like it's not the same thing, I know, but it's like kind of like, it reminds me of like when I got like 2 balls deep into Mortal Kombat ranked in my life, and it is just but it's like a better version, because you get the instant feedback. That's the difference with the acting and the music thing. It's like with the music, you get instant feedback. Like you play, if you play something that sounds awful, it's like, oh, that's bad. Or you play something good, oh my, I can't believe this is possible. What?
Yeah.
But then with acting, it's like, oh, you did the audition, you sent it out, and now you'll never know. Or sometimes but
yeah. There's an instant gratification in music a lot of times, especially like just because it's smaller packages, and like with a film, it's a way more collaborative process usually. And so like that's like you have to get a lot of people and you have to organize locations, and that's just a much bigger undertaking. Whereas like music was always like, okay, I know I can't be like filming right now unless I come up with some genius single man skit. So it's like music is something I can sit down and actively be creating.
It's always there. You take a little acoustic with you wherever you want, or
exactly.
Yeah.
So that so is math rock kind of the thing you're doing, or the reason I'm like, because I've always liked it, and I always thought that, oh, this is just something that's impossible to do, because it's just like you listen to it and you're just like, what? That's not only is the time signature completely different, but I've never heard someone pull off and hammer on like this in my life. Yeah.
But then, because the way I like learn instruments and stuff is just like, oh, I hear, like, it's just like songs you like, right? And I felt like most of the songs that I've learned up until I started doing more mathy stuff, is like, it's all power chords or like whole chords, and like, I feel like I'm not moving up and down the fretboard a lot, and like the muscles in my hands aren't like, it was just more to like train my hand really to like kind of get a better grasp of things, because I feel like it's like I kind of want to absorb the technique of math rock and sort of make it, is there a way to make it more digestible? Mm-hmm. Like mix it with like some like hip hop elements or like, because I'll be listening to some songs. I'm like, wait a minute, if someone just like sampled this really quickly, this would be the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. And
Yeah.
yeah.
American football type beat.
Yeah, with my lo-fi study playlist.
Are you actively recording or just playing or?
Oh, so at the same time I started doing math rocky stuff, I started learning to use like FL Studio to do stuff, and I got like a little MIDI keyboard, and I was learning that and like making some songs, like making some more poppy songs on that, making some like trap beats on it, just to like kind of understand. And the thing with FL Studio is, even if you don't know music theory 100%, you can like set it up in a way where like while you're using the program, it's as if you sort of knew, like it'll highlight the notes that are in the key of whatever you're doing.
Oh,
and stuff like that. So it's like you'll have like this sort of like pseudo music theory, sort of. It's not the same thing as actually like knowing the stuff, but it's close.
See, I've always used FL Studio, but I'm not familiar with that function. Maybe that's a newer version, or if there's a setting.
It might be a newer version, but I know it's like a setting. Like there's a couple ways you could do it. There's like a tool that like you stamp like the scale or whatever, and it like in one channel, and then like you extend the thing so it highlights it. And when you open up a piano roll on a new instrument, it'll have all the stuff highlighted. I'm sure there's like a lot of YouTube videos on it though, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I kind of stumbled across it. Like I was just like watching people use FL Studio, and this guy's like, "Hey, you want to see something cool? This is like this is like kind of like low key." I'm like, what am I looking at?
What's up, YouTube? Today,
YouTube? What's going? Where am I? who am I, YouTube? I'm having a crisis.
Have you ever seen the videos of this guy, Custom Grow 420? He's like a weed YouTuber.
Wait, was he the guy that was that popular video of him going like?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
His always start with "What's up, YouTube? YouTube."
Yeah. What up, YouTube? What up? Joel coming at you for Custom Grow 420. This 18 over channel design for cannabis patients and adults. All right, man. In this one, we're about to try 5 bong hits in one breath.
I just hope he's happy, man. I just hope he's happy.
How happy can you be when like you're actively making videos called Keef Gauntlet, 5 bongs of Keef, and I don't breathe the whole time? It's like, fuck.
Is it self-harm? Is it self-harm at that point?
Should it be stopped?
It's his choice, and he's making a living off of it. I don't know.
Yeah. FL Studio. Shout out FL Studio.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the best. I'm in a sound design course in school right now, and
really?
They gave us a copy of Pro Tools, so I'm going to start using Pro Tools and see what it's like.
Nice. There's someone I started every now and then on the side I'll like work with the production company to like help them live stream stuff or whatever. And the guy that I work with, I think that's what he either uses that or the one Ableton. Is either that or Ableton? I don't remember. But they're all kind of similar.
Yeah, they all have very similar functions and operating or interfaces. I mean, I started writing music when I was 14, I think, and it was with a program called Mixcraft.
Oh.
Are you familiar?
That's the thing. No, but like I am so upset that I never like learned about this sooner, because like anything you can think of as an instrument. Like there's this like you could like literally fart in the microphone and like put it on the piano roll and like you could make something, you could do stuff with it.
You put a chorus and a delay on it and drag it out 20 minutes, ambient album, upload to Bandcamp.
The ambient bowels of myself. Ambient bowel type beat.
Jacob Gasho would be into that. I'm
almost
certain.
Yeah.
And after Mixcraft had a lot of like pre-programmed stuff, and then I started using FL when I started high school, and this was like I got into it because of the dubstep movement of 2011, 2012, like dubstep and hardstyle, and so I started doing that, and FL is perfect for it because it's like, especially with those EDM genres, at least at the time, it was like all you had to do is put 4 kicks on there and let her and just art stuff and just like with a
Did Skrillex use FL Studio? I feel
like he
or something similar.
I think he used Logic most likely.
Damn.
Because he was a Mac guy, and I don't think FL came to Mac.
No. Yeah, you're right. FL only recently like came out the Mac version, so I don't think. Yeah, I think.
Turns
you're
out
right.
Skrillex had it 10 years ago.
He's a time traveler, man. That's why they're taking so long to release the UFO information. They don't want people to know that Skrillex stole fucking FL Studio from 2020 or whatever.
Skrillex knows the sun is blue.
He knows.
Skrillex is one of those art. Like, I don't think I could listen to dubstep at this point, even though some people still are.
Yeah, it just felt like a novel thing. It's just like, what, you can make something sound like that? That's crazy. And then people, that's kind of, it kind of reminded me like you know how like there's so much synth stuff in the 80s and then it kind of like petered out by the 90s because they're like, wow, we could do this, and everyone's like, wow, you can make that sound.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have made that.
Yeah, it's, tastes ebb and flow. I do think Skrillex, though, like in hindsight, had quite an ear for like composition, like doing all kinds of different weird sounds, and
that's the thing. I wonder if there's an implementation of, because I haven't really gotten into dubstep really. I only know like I've only listened to a handful of songs, but it's like kind of similar to how like new music genres will sometimes sort of take like relics of older ones.
Mm-hmm.
What would be an example of this? Is like math rock is kind of like, it's almost like it's got like they take elements from jazz in a way, but like if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I could see that. I think they're like, I don't know who would be considered like the original math rock artists, but like Midwest emo music, I think.
Yes. Tiny moving parts, man. Like,
and Modest Mouse too, like
Modest Mouse.
I feel like Modest Mouse like really defined a kind of like stop start, like twinkly like stuff, and they would probably be most influenced by, I want to say, like 90s alternative and 80s jangly like Smiths and British bands.
American football came like later, sort of. Were they like first wave of that sort of thing, or
American football first album is
it was like late 90s.
Yeah, I want to say it's 99.
Yeah.
So they're kind of the bridge. They might be the bridge. I don't know. I don't want to make any claims because then the picks.
That's just like the first thing that comes to mind for me. But like, I don't have like a whole. Yeah, so be like, it's me. I have no idea.
But yeah, I'm really into the 80s stuff. At least at the moment. Like, particularly post-punk and like Joy Division and Bauhaus, and how those bands kind of explored different ways to use clean guitar sounds, and not in a way that's always pushing for like a big anthemic chorus or like a jerk off like Led Zeppelin solo. Like they found ways to make it like interesting and almost like geometric or something. I like that stuff.
I gotta get in. I gotta get like a list. I gotta get like a playlist from you, because
the Dower Hour playlist now.
Dower Hour, yes.
Spotify. If you haven't listened to Joy Division, they only have 2 albums.
Okay.
So just listen to those because they really pioneered. I mean, also, so like the CBGB punk scene, the early Talking Heads, and this band Television, definitely like have a very distinct guitar sound that is like rhythmic and kind of tribal, and it's like and I guess they're usually considered part of the original punk scene, like the New York punk scene in the late 70s. I mean, the Ramones were sharing the stage with these bands, And it's kind of like, it's interesting because you'd say like, oh, the original Talking Heads, they wore like button-up shirts and played like art music, whereas the Ramones were like power chords, like do-do-do-do-do-do. But I think both bands were like redefining how a guitar.
They were punk. They were punk in their own ways, like in different. Like they're like two sides of the punk coin of like.
Yeah. And
never thought of it that way.
There's a great. There's an amazing book called "Please Kill Me: The Oral History of Punk," and it's all about the '70s New York punk scene, which is where it originated. And if you want to be like gatekeepy about it, the concept of punk for a lot of people is like Johnny Rotten, Sid Vicious, and like spiky hair and stuff. But the original bass player from television, his name was Richard Hell, and Richard Hell had that look to him. And then Malcolm McLaren, who was the manager of the Sex Pistols and put the Sex Pistols together, saw Richard Hell, went back to England, and he was like, we need people to look like this. And then he formed the Sex Pistols, and they kind of defined what the punk image is.
I didn't know that the Sex Pistols were put together by a manager.
Well, like, I think they were maybe like around and playing music, but he kind of like his store. Malcolm McLaren owned a fashion store called Sex, and then he was like trying to harvest the. He went to New York, saw these punk bands, and was like, we need to like organize this into a thing. I don't think it discredits the Sex Pistols in any way. It's just like that's
so interesting
where it comes from. Yeah. Them and the Richard Hell and the New York Dolls too.
I like he sounds like the kind of guy that just gets straight to the point. He's just like, people want to come to my store, they want to get clothing, but why do they want to get this clothing? They want to look good. Why do they want to look good? They want to have sex. Just call it sex. Just
cut the shit.
Just cut the shit. It's sex.
And I bet in '76 that was like insane.
People that it's because wasn't like Black Sabbath at the time was like one of like the heavier bands of like that sort of time, and like, but like compared to the heavy stuff of today, it's like nothing. So it's like, holy shit.
I guess it depends on like your conception of heavy, because I feel like Black Sabbath, who in my opinion are also the first metal band, like first real metal band, like the heaviness is like in how like the doom quality.
Yeah.
And like you can say like more distortion makes something heavier, but like
did they do lower tunings, like drop down tunings?
I don't really know enough about like the way. I
don't know if they
played.
did, but to me, like heavy is like it's like the distortion and like lower tunings, and then like and also faster, but they weren't as fast.
Not all the time. No, they had some fast moments, fast songs, but I also, another book I read was called Choosing Death, and it was about the history of death metal, which your home state of Florida.
Oh hell yeah! I didn't know this. The origins of death metal is Florida.
So depending on like what band, so like there's a band called Possessed that were kind of like, they sounded a lot more like Slayer. They're from LA, but the first like, but Death, the original Death band, they're from Tampa, and Cannibal Corpse, I think were originally from like New York, New Jersey, but between Death and Obituary and some of these bands, like there was a studio in Tampa that became the place to record death metal, and so it's kind of like Tampa's considered like the American death metal capital.
Shit, I had no idea.
Yeah, well,
I know there's like a hardcore, like there's like Florida hardcore down here that like my brother's obsessed with.
Like currently.
Right now, I don't know what they're doing now, but they used to organize. In high school, they used to organize, because I used to go to a lot of shows like ska shows in high school and stuff like that, and emo shows. And there's this place called the Talent Farm. They organize a lot of shows there, and there were a lot of bands like from my high school, like like a lot of kids like made bands and played there, but they got shut down because there's literally a children's like play area thing. It was in a warehouse, and next door they had a place where like kids go to play, or it's like a daycare, I think, something like that.
So you drop your kids off, you go to the ska show.
Yeah.
Classic Friday night.
Yeah. They got shut down though because I think it was like some sort of violation with like how like the decibels of sound or something. Rest in peace, Talent Farm.
You got too many decibels.
You got too many decibels over
those
here.
decibels down, bro. The Talent Farm. They're writing big checks with that name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss live music so much.
So much. But that's what's good. But this like gives, this quarantine thing kind of gives everyone time to sort of like sharpen up music skills before live shows come back. Because when live shows do come back, everyone's like, people are desperate to go see a show.
Exactly.
Like even people that don't know, like go regularly want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to get into the local scene a little bit more. I mean, Chicago has an amazing music scene, so I'm psyched. And I've been lucky to meet a couple of cool people in the scene, and yeah, I'm psyched. And hopefully, like I've never played a live show myself, and
really?
Yeah, and that's a goal of mine. So
I think I've only played a couple, but like one of them was like my bar mitzvah, technically.
Okay.
Because we had a band come and like I played. It was my brother's band, but like I played drums for them. And shit. We had because like most kids, they'll have their bar mitzvah like in a country club or like somewhere nice, and they're like, "How about a warehouse? It's a lot cheaper, and it's cheaper to decorate because you could just like put blue light because like all the walls are white, so you just put blue lights up."
How about the Talent Farm?
The Talent Farm. I never played the Talent Farm, man. My brother did though.
That's awesome. That's a great memory. That's the day you became a man.
Technically, yeah.
By all the rules that I'm aware of.
By my rules, yeah, I'd say so. Got to read this very strange alien-looking language in front of people that don't know what I'm saying.
Let's take some time for films.
Parasite, Midsommar, Jean-Luc Godard, Robert Eggers sucks. This is the time for films theme song. It's over.
What have you been watching lately? Films, television, otherwise?
I recently got very into Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay.
Like I watched like the original one in college a little bit. But then this one, I mean, it's fantastic. Like having like Shakespeare trained people, Sir Patrick Stewart. It's really good. I think it's. And the Queen's Gambit was fantastic too. Did you see that?
I did.
Oh, I loved it. There are some parts I'm just like but overall, I had a really good time watching it. It was the first live action shonen done well. But they did it with the female lead instead of. It was great. It was fantastic.
I also liked it. I thought it was comfy. It was a nice thing to put on before I went to sleep. The like production design, the costumes are great, and Anya Taylor-Joy is amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole addiction subplot. Like I felt like it came really easily. Like it felt like a dramatic crutch in some ways. It was like, okay, so it's not enough for her to just be like, defying misogyny and the patriarchy and all that, but also an addict. And then it would just kind of pop up when it became convenient to make things more dramatic, and then go away when it was necessary.
Yeah, I like overall I enjoyed it, but there were some times where I'm just like, yeah, we're focusing on this still, like it did feel a little like stretched out, but
and there was like spoilers for Queen's Gambit. There was like she fucked everybody, and I felt like she should have maybe not fucked a couple of people. Like there should have been some like some loose ends or something.
Yeah, but I think I agree. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even realize that. I was like, no, every single potential suitor is like 100%.
Yeah.
Well, no, unless she stuck the Russian guy. That
Oh
would've been
wow.
hilarious.
That would have been an amazing. That should have been the final scene. Like, she walks around in her like white get up, which is like clearly like the queen piece at the end, and then she sees the Russian guy, and then she's like, "What's up?"
It was a little much, but I think I understand why. Like I feel like the reason they did that though is because like I was kind of like James Bondy vibes to me. Like if you like zoom out far enough, it's like, okay, person very good at something. James Bond good at spies. This person very good at chess. What do they do? They travel around the world. They're very cool. They got some problems. Maybe they like too many martinis, and they shoot up everyone, every single person.
I guess the only one that like really felt like, well, so there was like Dudley from Harry Potter. He shows up.
That's where it's from. I forgot.
Dudley shows up and he's like, I can train you. Also, I'm in love with you. And then she's like, okay. And then she meets the guy who wears a cowboy hat.
Oh my!
And
the sex,
like,
you can forget it.
Yeah, same thing. He's like, he shows up and he's like, I can train you, but I'm not in love with you. And then she's like, okay, we can fuck. And it's like, wait, what's the rules? What are the rules here? I don't know. I guess it doesn't actually like, it's not an actual problem. It's just seemed off to me for some reason.
Tune into my fan theory channel where I go over the possibility that is wait, what was her name? Was it Elizabeth?
The Queen.
The Queen.
Gambit. She was Gambit from X-Men.
Was the Queen using men just to learn chess moves? Awesome. She's like looking with her big pretty eyes, like, who knows the chess secret?
Who knows the most chess?
Yeah.
I'll fuck you in return. I also felt like I really wanted like chess to be dramatized. Like I thought there like it was like the game itself was never really like,
yeah, they should have done like some Death Note stuff where like you move a piece and it's just like a train moving in slow motion, like intensity.
It's just like Death Note, the anime.
Yeah.
Like I've not seen the anime, but I've seen the live action Japanese films.
Oh my god, I saw a few of those like years ago. It's been a long time.
And I loved them. The live action Japanese ones.
The thing that the anime does is when he writes in the notebook, they montage it, and like what was it at the end of the first episode? I think there's like a montage of him like writing in the notebook, and it's like it's choreographed like an action scene. There's like so much like weight to every single name he writes down. So I was like kind of expecting that sort of a thing from this show.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to translate that, because like, yeah, it looks good in the anime, but is there a way to make that look good live action when you're moving the piece? It's like or like queen to e4, whatever.
And then it's like Yu-Gi-Oh, where he's like, bah! And he gets like blown away.
Oh my god!
No! I don't know. Coincidentally, over Christmas break, I watched the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh 2 different times and with 2 different groups of people.
Oh my god! My grandfather's chessboard has no weak pieces, Kaiba. But it does contain the Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit on DVD. At the end of when he beats Kaiba in the first episode, he goes mind break or something, and then Kaiba like goes. And it like his like shit like breaks up, and I'm like, what was that? And why did that ever? I don't think that ever came back in the show to my memory, but he like traumatizes Kaiba.
He gives him like a seizure or something. Like what the?
Yeah. Also, in the first episode, Kaiba kidnaps his grandpa and beats him in cards so badly that he's hospitalized. And then in the second episode. The second or third episode, he's kidnapped again by Pegasus. And this grandpa needs to like get some shit figured out. Like, why is he so vulnerable?
His feelings get so hurt that like his immune system starts like attacking, like it starts like attacking himself. It's like he's like breaking down on the inside.
Fucked up, honestly.
There was like an original one like before they had like the monsters and they settled on like dual monsters as the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they had, it was like death games. This was, all I remember is that there was a bully and Yugi does this like weird card game on the roof of a school, and I'm pretty sure he kills the bully. Like
I recall an episode where a bully is picking on Joey and then Yugi, but this involved cards. I know there was like 2 series, and there was one that was like the one I had seen as a child, which was like the Pegasus and Kaiba and stuff. And I maybe there was another series.
There's one that came like right before, because like I think in that series they had like a bunch of different kinds of games until they like found one. Like, oh wait, no, this game is actually dope and we can make something out of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. If I had the will or time or energy, I might watch that, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
No, yeah, I haven't seen that since like high school. So many things.
Lately, I've been watching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is I just love it.
Is that based off of like something? Because that sounds familiar.
So
it's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right?
Yeah, it's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but they had done, I believe, a comic series or a graphic novel series that it's actually more based on. And then it's also tangentially linked to the Riverdale universe, which I think maybe Sabrina was to begin with. But it's like way more morbid and grim. So like,
oh my god, that's gonna be a huge trend, dude. They're gonna take like all these like older shit, like in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Because what was that originally on Disney? Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or is that like something else?
I want to say it was probably network television, but I don't know. I never watched the original.
Neither did I. But I've seen like the title for that places. But they're gonna like take these older shows and be like, it's the sweet life of Zack and Cody, but now there's like now
they have guns.
Yeah, someone's making meth on one of the suite levels, and they got to deduce who it is.
You have to deduce, like, who's getting the Sudafed sent to their room. It started like 3 years ago or so, and they just put up the 4th season of the Sabrina show, and then it's the last one also. So it's sad because I really always liked it. It's super corny, but it's also like it's I don't know. It's got like, you know, demons and Satan and like these are actual characters. I like a
little bit of corniness in some of the things. Yeah,
it's entertaining, and it's 20-something actors playing sexy teenagers, and they're all super horny. You know, so it's like,
oh wow,
it's a lot. It's fun. I haven't watched Riverdale, although I've seen like best scenes from Riverdale compilations that are hilarious.
Oh shit! But have you seen The Boys?
No, I have not.
That's a great show. It's a little like there's sometimes like there are some scenes in that show that I saw that I was just like, oh, I can't. I actually like genuinely had to look away, and I've like never had to do that before with anything I watched. But that's not why it's good. Why it's good is it's like the perfect commentary on. It's like they comment on celebrity worship, but also mixed in with like the oversaturation of superhero films and shows and stuff like that. I recommend it a lot.
Did you have to look away because it was like violent and gory?
It was just no. I mean, it is violent, it is gory, but there was like one part that was just gross. It was just gross. I don't even know if it's like it wasn't even like blood and gore, because if I say it's a kind of like reveal something about a character, it's kind of like supposed to be shocking, but it's nasty. When you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's in the first season. It's disgusting.
There's 2 seasons of it right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been recommended it enough times to where I have no excuse not to watch it. So
It's spectacular. Oh, and they're gonna do a spinoff series too, allegedly.
the girls.
Where the girl, the girls, the boys, the thems. It's gonna be great. But they're doing like a university one, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. But we'll see.
I could be a producer,
Easily.
easily.
So they're Sony Pictures. I don't know who does the casting, but
This is really what a genuine goal of mine is, to get to the point where I can make a feature film and then just cast all my friends. That's really what I want to do.
It will. If you build it, they will come.
Also, the girl who plays Sabrina in the Sabrina show, and obviously we fall in love and we get married and etc.
Easily.
Yeah. So
this is the law of attraction, man. There's what is it? There's declassified CIA documents on consciousness and like energies and whatever.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Sometimes I like to go down rabbit holes on the internet for fun, and this was one of them. It was like declassified. CIA explains consciousness, the Matrix, meditation, holograms, and telepathy. Don't know if any of it's real or how much of it is real, but it's like there's a whole. This was back. This was conducted in like 1983, I think.
It said the Matrix.
It said declassified. This is just like the title of it on this website, but I don't know what they officially called it. I literally just found this like last night, I think.
Does it mention Blue Sun theory?
I think I can only hope. We need some answers on that. Hopefully within when they release the info on the UFOs, man.
Tom DeLonge will finally be justified.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, aliens, they exist and they're coming at you. 2022.
2022, boys. They're dropping their first album. They wanted to keep their existence a secret because they didn't want to like build up too much hype, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't want to pull a Cyberpunk and like announce it before it's like ready, you know?
I don't really play video games because I'm bad at them. But what's the deal with Cyberpunk?
What is the deal? Like what? Like
from what I've seen, it's like it was too glitchy or it wasn't finished.
Oh, there's a lot. That's first and foremost. This is a game that was announced in 2013. I've been waiting 8 years to play it. I played it. I had a great time with it. Don't get me wrong. But it was simply not a finished game. I mean, there will be like there's supposed to be a sequence where like a car like crashes into you, and it would just glitch out completely, and there are some quests that are broken. They had a thing where if you deconstruct too many things or collect too many items on a playthrough, like if your save file goes over like 8 megabytes, you will lose, or whatever it was, your game, like that save will be corrupted and you can't play on it. So you could have like hundreds of hours on a save and you won't be able to play. They fixed it recently, but it took them like almost a month to fix that. And they like very abruptly delayed the game like a third time, by the way, before all this, because they're like, we want to make sure everything's up to snuff and da. So on PC, there's a bunch of bugs, right? But I had to find time because I have like my PC is fine with it, but the base console version can't run in a lot of like the game will crash. Mm-hmm. Textures won't load in. It literally looks like Roblox. The frames will be like 15 frames a second when like they wanted it to be like 30. And they removed it off of the PlayStation Store. I've never seen a game be removed off of a store after it comes out from this is a AAA. This is like a big publisher. They were the #1 traded stock in Europe before this.
CD Projekt Red was? Yes,
or something like that. And but then after the game came out, they dropped literally 40%.
Huh?
Yeah. It was bad. But I love the game. I think it's great writing. I had a great time. But if you were on base console, you had a terrible time, and it's simply not the game that they were hyping it up to be. but no game is nowadays. I don't know why anybody thought that a AAA publisher would like keep their word. The only reason they did is because like they had a lot of free stuff from their other game, like The Witcher 3. They had like a bunch of free DLC. They're like, oh, we only put out games when they're finished and all this, and then this happened.
Why is this such an issue in the game industry? Because it's like when I got Fallout 76 when that came out, and that was also an unfinished, broken game.
I know why that game was so. And so Bethesda, and so I only see a few like people talk about, is that I think the only reason they released Fallout 76 at all was because they spent some time working on that multiplayer component for Fallout 4, so they had some like leftover stuff, and they were planning on being bought out by Microsoft, because like that was a huge story recently that Microsoft bought them, and they might be Xbox exclusive with all their stuff now.
Yeah,
but before a company does something like that to like sell to a to be bought out by like a bigger company, they'll like produce as much stuff and try and like extract as much money from their existing IPs before they hand over the keys to, well, I don't know if they're handing over the keys, but whatever their arrangement is, because it's not done yet. They want to just make as much money as possible from it. That's why they had the microtransactions. And that's what it was. People are like, well, but this is not like Bethesda. They would never do microtrans. Blah, blah. But yeah, man,
that sucks. It sounds like I know that video games are like the most profitable or highest grossing, best selling like form of entertainment at this point. And it's just like such a bummer because, you know, I felt this way about movies already, which was that the really big titles are all so artless and it's always done, you know, as a commodity. And it's like, how can we extort the most money out of this?
Yeah, because they're kind of mirroring each other in a lot of ways. The video games and the film industry is that like there'll be, so when I think of like people that make Call of Duty and Fortnite and Battlefield, whatever, like the EA, Activision, those are gaming corporations. They're not gaming studios anymore, I don't think. The only gaming's like the only real ass studios, in my opinion, are like independent studios, like people that made Hades or Double Fine, even and stuff like that. And the closest thing you'll get to like a lot more money behind like a real game studio game would be like what Microsoft did with the Outer Worlds. They bought Obsidian. There are people who made like Fallout New Vegas and the original Fallout series, and like and I think there are some EA does have some programs for some indie developers, but it's like the same thing with movies too. There's like movie companies. This is what I'm about to vent, dude. This is what happened with Star Wars. Okay, I like some things about the new trilogy, right? But they missed the point, right?
Yeah.
They acquire the IP. They have access to all of these books, all of these comics, all of this like juicy shit to squeeze. And they're like, no, we'll do our own thing. And it's like, okay, you can do your own thing, but they didn't even like look at Old Republic for a second. Because I thought before the last two films came out, I thought where they were going with Rey, or actually even after the second film, because after the second film, I didn't love it in the new trilogy, but it was like it was good. I was like, oh, this is they're gonna go somewhere with this. Like I have some problems with some like the structure of that and whatever, but it's like you could still save this. Like I was just being such an optimistic fanboy, little baby boy, and I was just like, oh, I get it. Rey kind of looks like Bastila from Knights of the Old Republic. Right? A little bit. And it's just like, okay, they could reveal that Rey is descendant of Bastila. Huge spoilers for Knights of the Old Republic. Bastila is like a Jedi who's like, she has this thing called battle meditation that allows her to like, it's basically winning them the war against the Sith, and there's thousands of Sith and blah, blah, blah. But then she turns to the dark side.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So they could have like tied it back, and like at the end they'd be like, or made Rey become like Bastila's mom or something. I don't know. It could have been different, man. But I think they learned their lesson. Like Mandalorian's pretty good. I like Mandalorian.
I watched like the
What I saw.
first 2 or 3 episodes of Mandalorian, and I couldn't get into it. And now everybody's talking about it, and I pretty much know all the spoilers because nobody will ever shut up about it. And I know that his name is Gogurt and not Baby Yoda. And
Gogurt.
So, yeah, I think I think Force Awakens and Last Jedi are both great. They have problems, definitely, but third one, fucking.
I felt like I don't know if it was like editing or like what happened, but somewhere along the way, someone's like, okay, like I felt like someone was literally flicking me off during the movie. Like, hey, you like Star Wars, you little bitch? Here's a lightsaber, fucker. Yeah. It was like, oh, now she's gonna shoot force light. It's like it felt like I was like watching a Vine compilation of Star Wars. Like,
definitely.
I was just like, the first thing I said when I was entertained, but I was like shocked, and disappointed.
Yeah,
I was just like, I can't.
I think it was just a big, a look behind the curtain because it was so obviously not. It was so obviously a course correction from the other movies.
It was just everything was retconned.
Yeah,
everything. They could have kept rolling with what they established in like the Last Jedi. And then they're like, that's no way to treat a lightsaber, Rey.
Well, it's like they were responding to the absurd backlash to Last Jedi, and it's just
it did not deserve all the backlash it got.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
the 30-minute video on YouTube, why Last Jedi is a complete cinematic failure. That'll break it all down for you. Just the concept of like a complete cinematic failure, as if there's an objective, like numeric way to determine it, especially for that movie. Jeez. But yeah, Star Wars exhausting. We did the episode right after we saw the Skywalker Returns, Last Skywalker. I forget what the title was.
What was it? The
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Wow. I remember that.
And the thing I remember more than the movie, I remember the shitty people in the same row as me at the theater. So
oh, what did they do?
For the if you want to hear the whole discussion of it, go back and listen to the it's called The Rise of Ben.
Rey and Kylo are together, and Kylo's good now, and so she says,
Ben, he's back to Ben.
He's Ben now, and she goes, Ben, just like really tenderly. Complete silence. Guy goes, Ben.
The whole theater heard.
What the fuck was that? Ben? What the fuck is that? Guy.
Oh my god.
That's the one thing that 2020 really missed out on, was giving me more stories about people annoying me in movie theaters. This is a theme for me.
Well, now it's like the only thing we can come close to is like all the anti-masker compilations on YouTube. I thought this was America. I thought this was.
Yeah, I try to see. That's like what's the term? Doom scrolling. I try to just stay away from social media as much as I can.
Yeah, I try and because I don't even like post a lot of like stuff about any of those things, just because like I want to break from it personally, because like every time if I ever open up anything, it's just always like, oh, here's a lot of bad news, you missed this. I'm just like, no, please leave me alone.
You have to weigh in.
You have to weigh in. If you don't, I will find you.
Yeah, that's been the thing like these past few days with the siege of the Capitol and all that. It's like I feel like for the most part I've only seen, and I probably live in a liberal echo chamber, but it's like I've only seen people condemning it and being like, this is absolutely outrageous. And
it should be condemned. They're literally criminals.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Yeah. But like but I feel like I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, this sucks. And there's just this weird subliminal like pressure that I feel that I'm like, should I post.
I get
about
that.
this?
I get that too, because it's just like I'll see, like I'll be going through stories and people are like, "Silence is violence." I'm just like, I mean, yeah, but it's like it's just like that's just I'm not like I don't want my social media to be like a place for this news that is already everywhere. At least from my perspective, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Yeah, or it's like if you really know me, then you already know how I feel about it. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
who's judging me here? Like people who don't know me, and therefore they're ridiculous.
It's like my favorite color is blue. I'm not gonna post every day that my favorite color is blue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's a complex scenario, but
I don't think that like and this is something I've been like sort of realizing lately. It's like it feels like there's a pressure to post about this sort of a thing, but it's not like other people are thinking like, oh, Dan, I've noticed you haven't posted anything about this current situation that's going on right now, and I'm very specifically mad at you, Dan Stewart.
Yeah. Well,
I'm writing you down on a list of people that haven't posted anything about them, but I don't think anyone's doing that.
Oh well, unironically, somebody I know did post like during the protests in June and stuff, which I attended a march. I
attended a march.
Things.
I didn't post that I was at the march, but I went just to be like, what's up? What's going on? I wanted to keep like my distance, and like I'm just like, yeah, these things need to change, please.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And on the other hand, it was like there was a lot of people who it was like you need to be posting things or else, and which is what you were just describing.
You have a platform and you have to use it exactly how I say.
Yeah. And but unironically, somebody I know posted something on Instagram to the effect of those of you who are silent, I am noticing and I am taking names. And I've seen
some of them. I'm just like, oh, there's just no way. There's no way it's about me. Like if I had like a huge, even then I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah. So let's keep eating each other because that's really what's going to, be effective. Bummerville. Yeah. All right. Well, probably start wrapping it up. Is there any plugs or anything you'd like to mention? Or
not too many, because everything's I'm kind of like figuring out what I want to focus on and do and stuff. But like, if you want to see some my experimental YouTube Twitch thingy majiggy, it's a very original, very not cringe name, Radical TV Live. It's on YouTube. What kind of a channel is it actually going to be? I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around with stuff there. And music, I don't know what the name. Well, I don't want to say too much about it yet.
Okay.
It's like an infant. I don't want to. Wait, I don't want to jinx the pregnancy of it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah.
Is that I remember a few years ago when you started streaming, you gave me a bunch of footage and I made it into a compilation.
Yeah. Because I was like still testing it. I was like testing like, oh, well, what would it be like? Because like I know some people do that. Like they'll send footage from their stream to like editors just to make content on YouTube. And I liked you and your work, and I just wanted to like do like one video that way. Yeah. And then like and then after that, I was like, okay, I sat on that for like a while. I was like, let me make like a little introduction thing for the stream just to learn the video editing software. And I was like, okay. I watched a lot of Naked Jakey videos, and I was just like, I want to make that kind of video and just see how that's made and like try that out. And I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, oh wait, there's like a lot of Dark Souls lore videos of like people with English accents like talking about the story of Dark Souls. Like what if someone did that for like Fall Guys? So I did that for that, and I don't know, it's a lot of spitballing. No, it's not officially anything yet, but
and it never has to be, in my opinion.
No, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's awesome. I've been thinking about, because it's easy to make. So I've been thinking about, I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena.
Let's go.
And I want to do a video where I play that, and I don't know,
that's a really great it's like a super searchable thing.
Yeah.
I think like that's a very At least last I checked, it's a good what is it? I don't know, niche.
It's got good SEO.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, it's been fun. And like I said at the top, everybody go buy Bug Society t-shirts and watch Darkness on the Edge of Town. Legally, you have to. So there it is.
Watch it. It's very good. It's very funny.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
Thanks for
man.
having me on. Appreciate it. Seriously.
Absolutely.